interviews for an additional officer. I don't think we're in any position at the moment to go any further than we've conducted those interviews.
Right. I don't want a synopsis or
Yeah, we don't want to.
leaning toward or anything else, so.
So, other than that, everything else is fine. Surplus equipment, there was a list of equipment. Hola, senor.
Wow.
Delta Airlines, they're coming through me this week.
Special guest star.
You didn't fall asleep on a United flight, did you?
What's that?
United flight? Guy woke up on the plane,
Oh,
the plane was
park.
parked, dark.
They canceled every morning flight yesterday based on that weather.
Did they?
Yeah, by the time they were rerouting me, I could have never gotten done what I needed to get done.
No, well.
And basically, since we've been here since 5 o'clock, this is all I have.
We're about to adjourn.
You guys kill me.
The surplus that you had, you've gone through that. I see that Jim created the form.
Yes.
You went through it all, looked at it, you're comfortable with everything?
Yes.
Computers. Do we have what we need to give you what you need here in this building? Or are we still having a computer problem?
The computer problem still exists at times. We have enough computers to do what we need to do. That's not, the numbers of them isn't the problem. I guess it was late last month. NKOL did come in. They put a new program on it, so that every time the computer is turned off, it automatically goes through viruses when it's rebooted.
So is that the problem? Were you getting viruses in here?
There was one that seemed to be affected every other day.
So from getting on other websites or?
Could come
Email,
email attachments, yeah, that's pervasive anymore.
Yeah,
They don't have virus protection
we
on the
had
network?
some, but I don't know how it's hooked up across the street.
Oh, is that where it comes from? It comes from the server?
Server across the street?
That's where you would have housed them.
Okay. I thought don't you have your own server here?
No, he took everything across the street.
Actually, it should be, they should have the mail server protected if that's a potential source of
I would think so.
infection. Well, they should. I mean, we didn't have spam protection until 8 months ago. So.
That's NKOL, right?
Yes.
Are they providing the backbone service for the email as well? Do we know?
The what server?
Who's hosting our email site?
Thank you. I believe.
All right. But assuming that the virus situation is taken care of, you guys can get into this software now and print what you need?
The last month, there was the format change for that one monthly report.
Right.
Getting with Park Hills this past month has been tough. That person has been out. We did play phone tag, I spoke to him. It's still not allowing me to get in there and make changes and run reports.
And you think
So-
that's a software
We
thing?
think it's a connection problem with the county. So we talked to them, they say, no, it's our system. So we go back and forth with that.
Is somebody working on it?
Yes.
Then the county has like a guru, right?
They have a IT person. Yes.
All right, okay. And what you're looking to do, basically, is the incident breakdown, just isolate Villa Hills as opposed to any other municipality, is that what?
By city.
Right.
Isolate where the calls for service for us go, yes.
All right. And that'll do what you want to do? That'll get us to where we need to go?
I mean, if you look at it, it's on the report now.
Right. It's on the
But you
detail-
have to know,
detail report.
you have to know street names.
Right.
That's the hard part.
I mean, once we get,
I didn't pick mine up, I didn't pick up everything.
basically, it'd be that, which would be simply Villa Hills as opposed to any other municipality. I just want to make sure that at the end of the day, we're going to get where we want to go.
Yes, simplified as possible.
There is another report on there that's even.
Oh, I'm gonna go get mine right over here.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thanks.
Okay. Anything else you got, Chief?
That is all, that's basically all I have for now.
All right. The new report format you're still working on? You're going to try to
An
get.
additional report format.
Right. try to get.
These other ones will still be disseminated because it's very useful information.
Okay. This incident, this one,
Yes.
is this new?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
On those reports that you're talking about, are those things that go through dispatch where you're called to go report someplace then?
Yes. Our computer system for our records management system, the RMS, it is based on the dispatch program. So if you call here and tell me about 2 kids wandering throwing eggs,
Right.
I can get in our dispatch center, that system, and I can enter that information. And as soon as I click save, dispatch is able to see it if they if they need to pull it up. So the same would happen if you called dispatch. They would open up the event. The officer gets dispatched to your house, collects the information, and then the officer updates that event.
Well, this is, what I'm trying to figure out is, when this appears on a sheet, somebody's called the police with a complaint or said they want you to investigate something, right?
Correct.
So why do you need a report that tells you where you're going when somebody else is telling you to go there? I mean, you have to investigate something when they tell you,
Okay.
say, this is what's happening, right?
The reports aren't generated until afterwards for monthly reports.
This is for.
This
us
is for
to look
analysis
after
of the different types of calls and just a breakdown of what they did for the month.
Oh.
Yeah, so
So
it's
in
after
other
the
words,
fact.
if you want to know if it's domestic violence or,
Yeah, how many domestic
Breaking
calls
and
did we have in
entering.
November and how many DUIs did we have in November?
Actually, you could have
Yeah.
mine, because I think I got one in the packet too.
I was just wondering, why you had, I mean, if dispatch sends you somewhere, I don't know what the report will do you because you have to go, right?
Yes.
The report just, that just logs the call.
That's the log of the call. And then when calls are closed out, you can come back and generate types of reports to collect the information you had entered. Whether it's criminal mischief reports, theft reports, and that's pretty much generally overall everything.
Okay, so then the police officer has a logbook that says what he did when he answered that call.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, format of new report is what we've already talked about. KLC insurance grant. You are going to check into those cameras, and would you prefer that we try to move in the direction of the signage?
For priority-wise, yes. The mayor, they keep pushing the time frame back to when it needs to be required. He didn't say when. Does anybody know when?
Why don't we just get ahead of it? you know?
Yeah, it needs to be.
Is that grant just for the police? Or is
No.
it for the
No.
whole?
Safety.
But we can
It's
only
different
ask for
aspects.
one thing. So we need, and what I wanted to do is come back with a request from safety and say, hey, this is what we need. But
Wouldn't
the
it
chief
cover,
is
we could
basically.
potentially cover the sign, it's a matching grant, right?
Right.
Yes.
So we could potentially cover that cost of the signs, which we don't have budgeted right now.
Well, we can't cover it, we can cover half the.
Half
cost.
of it, yeah, I'm
Right.
sorry, half.
Right,
Yeah.
yep. Which we're gonna have to budget for eventually.
Yeah, something-
Yes.
And who's applying for
Amy took all my paperwork, so I assume she's applying for it. That's what I was asking the mayor. I thought that by now we would get together and decide what we're gonna ask for, because you can only ask for one thing, so. And it's not like, we're asking for a handout here,
it? Well, I
because.
thought she was doing it, but I didn't know. I hadn't heard anything, because then I thought she wasn't.
Okay, well, if she doesn't, then I will, so. Okay, all right, we'll have to find out tomorrow night where that is. Neighborhood Watch, you're holding the keys to that, because we can't move forward without the website,
Why can't you use the current website?
because we need it to be a lot smarter than it is. What we want to
Well-
do, we want to allow people to enter their email address.
On the website.
On the website.
Yeah.
We save that, we put it into a file, we have the capability of going through that file and potentially doing things like having only a neighborhood be alerted. that sort of thing.
No, it's
In
perfect.
fact, using it for the snow thing here probably would have been a good idea. Hey, we got guys out, they've been out all day, I mean, that sort of thing.
It'll definitely be capable of that. So I'm home 2 weeks over Christmas. Between it, we could have a couple coffee meetings and cover some of this stuff.
Okay.
So,
Summer Berger has been running with this. She's not here tonight, but she's been here virtually every other meeting. So I'm hoping, she had some ideas on what we can do. Basically, all we want to do right now is collect the email addresses and then try to figure out how to use those email addresses effectively to let the chief communicate with the community on what's out there and what kind of problems we got. So
Does anybody want to handle the booth table for sign-ups Saturday?
Oh, you mean to sign up for your email address?
Mhm.
How did that go over when you did it for the haunted trail? People don't have any idea what we're trying to get done. How did you ask for their email?
Carson, when they came to get a ticket for the ride,
Uh-huh.
we had it sitting there. So we're gonna have tickets for the sleigh rides for Saturday, so when they get their ticket, then they can sign it.
That'd be great. Do you have the same form, or do we need to? Did you have-
They have it at the city, we have thing left over.
Okay, so you think I can ask Craig to get that?
Mhm. Yeah, he should have an extra copy.
Okay. Okay. That's really all I had on my list. What else do you guys have?
But was that an answer that you were gonna collect them, or we need
Yep.
somebody to collect them?
Oh, no, it was a sign-up sheet, right? Do you have to have a person sitting there?
Well, to give out tickets, so,
Oh, you don't have a person to give out tickets?
no, Mason, you wanna do that?
I have no idea where I'm gonna be Saturday night. I can
Mary
check
Mary
it out.
Ann.
Cameras used to be for, do you know anybody that has it?
So
No way in
it's,
hell I'm gonna be Santa.
I just saw it
Picture Santa
advertised
right
on
there.
television.
You got white hair.
You had to put them on the surfboard, ski, car rolls and stuff. They look really small, but just,
They have them at Target.
oh, they have the target.
I could find somebody to come up with a demo one.
Oh, that's what I would do.
okay.
And I would think too, if you bought a bunch of them, it's gonna be a better price. I don't know how many they get.
Before anything else, reference to today's snow. Some of the depth caught people by surprise, so much for the dusting, but Public Works was out. They came out, I think, around 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning. By morning rush hour, there's a lot of major thoroughfares that already been cleaned and doing this. They did a great job.
They do a great job every time.
They
yeah.
did a great job.
When I left, it was still pretty messy. It was early.
Yeah.
It was messy all the way to Batavia. I didn't see a single snow pile all the way.
Yeah.
I think it did catch everybody off guard that they weren't really expecting that level of snow, and it was messy.
I'm just glad it was a powdery dusting, not a wet
I got,
slush. Nice center.
my wife said, school's canceled. I said, we were supposed to get a dusting, what are you talking about? And I got out of it and saw how bad it really was. Where we at on the part-time officer?
We conducted the interviews last week, 2 weeks back. We,
Third candidate backed out.
yes,
Third and fourth, right?
Yes.
You did one from last week and one from last month.
yes. The mayor was here briefly just before the meeting started, and there has been a conversation with one of the applicants, but that's as far as it's going.
You've been getting a pretty good response for people wanting them, other than a full-time job.
I was hoping there'd be more candidates. I believe there's only 3 that were currently Kentucky POPs certified that were eligible.
And that's a must as far as hiring.
It is for part-time, because you have to have the same training requirements, whether part-time or full-time. And as soon as we hire somebody young enough, we have to send them to the academy.
Right.
As soon as they come back, they're going to be marketable to every other agency. They'd be going in 6 months.
And It's a little strange. Last time we had 36. That was, what, 2 months ago?
Yes.
36 applications, and this time we had 3 that were qualified.
Well, doesn't Villa Hills pay more than most police departments around here?
Part-time, yeah.
For one-time, full-time, right? Oh,
It-
no.
Depends on how many years you got. I
Yes.
mean, that's,
Well, that's the thing, I thought that was kind of to the advantage of Villa Hills. If you are making more money, you're not going to look for a job elsewhere, so it's worth investing as far as it
The
goes.
thing is, they don't get the retirement benefits and so forth, so.
Well, the part-time.
Part-time.
Part-timers
Yeah.
don't.
Right, or somebody who works less than.
Yeah, so you
40
get a
hours.
decent part-timer and then that.
I know they want to get away from the part-time
Service.
title, but, you know,
The,
as far as,
I think it's the Northern Kentucky Area Development District. They do surveys every so often, put that information out there. I have not seen one in about 3 years. And for a while, Villa Hills was probably in the top, I'd say 20% of agencies in Northern Kentucky of pay. And then it went towards the middle 20%. And I don't think it's gone up since then.
that's what I was thinking. I thought that they paid more towards the upper end, and now we keep people from pulling the.
Through longevity, the officers can start making more. But if we were to hire, like our youngest officer who's only been there a year and a half, I'd say he's at the middle of the pack of what the pay scale is across Northern Kentucky.
Well, a year and a half, that's pretty good.
Well, year and a half across Northern Kentucky for those same timeframe.
Oh, so in other words, all officers make about the same after a year and a half or after years of service in all the police departments.
I think what the chief is saying, that our guy after a year and a half is making the average of what somebody would make in another police force after a year and a half, not necessarily what all policemen make.
Yes. I mean,
So we're competitive, we're just
Comparable
not
to the
on the top.
market.
for that market.
Yeah.
If you took the high and low of a person with 2 years of service,
Uh-huh.
you took the high and low, we're probably in the middle.
Okay. So if you paid more, chances are they wouldn't leave.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, and that's one thing, I don't know if the mayor's talked to council or not, in reference to holiday pay for the new employees. It's my understanding he doesn't want to pay. He says that's a benefit, and part-time employees don't deserve benefits, he says, so. I've asked him to reconsider that, because it is a selling point for retaining employees. The information was given to me that our policy book doesn't say you have to do it. Well, it doesn't say you're not allowed to do it either. That's the way I look at it. I don't know where that's going to go from here.
So in other words, if somebody works Christmas, they get straight time, they don't get double time, right?
If it's a part-time officer, they get straight time only, that's it.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
I don't think that's fair. I mean, it's,
Do you know what we did with the part-time administrative person we had? Did we pay him or her
I
holiday?
don't know how that was set up.
Okay, we'll look into that. So you were thinking along the lines of if they've been here X number of hours, you just annualize those hours and decide what they would get paid for holiday?
Well, currently how it's set up is the administration, Public Works, and myself, even though I do work holidays, you're supposed to have the day off with pay.
Right.
Because the officers are here working, and it's hard to differentiate who does, who doesn't work, and give them an extra day off, because now you gotta actually pay overtime to cover that, is they get 8 hours of pay. There's 10 holidays. So they actually get 2 weeks of pay. And it's always been a tradition here in Villa Hills, because there are no longevity checks, there are no Christmas bonuses because of how the laws are written, which is fine. They've always allowed the holiday pay to be paid in December. And that's how that's the way it was. And so the officers use that as a little Christmas bonus instead of being paid for the holiday period. But I'm not sure what's going to happen with that with the new policy. The new manual that takes effect January 1st.
The policy is written when it's paid in the period that it's occurs, correct?
I think that's right.
Yes. But also, it doesn't say anything about an employee who's off that day, an officer who's off getting any pay at all.
I think that officer would be eligible for that holiday pay, clearly. But what I don't know is how I don't know what the part-time thing says. We need to go over that, try to get it. Would you know when those checks are going out?
It was submitted last week, this payroll's turned in, might be this week. So it's already taken care of. It's already, to catch that portion of it has already gone by.
I think the administrative, they wouldn't even be working on the holiday, so that's kind of.
They don't work on the holiday, but do they get paid for it?
Or
Yes.
do they get paid?
Yeah. I mean, the admin people that are full-time don't work on a holiday, but they get paid for it. And I don't know what they do with part-time, that's all I'm asking. I think we need to be consistent with whatever we do. Okay.
It's not a seasonal employee, it's not a provisional employee, it's a full-time, year-round employee who by law is limited to the number of hours they can work because of the retirement system. I don't think we should, punish them or penalize them any additional.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
If you took the percentage hours they work of a full-time, why don't you pay them that percentage of holidays?
Well, that's why I asked if that's what the chief was recommending, that we do annualize their pay, and annualize their hours. Back
Right.
into
So
the
if it's-
pay.
If it was half-time, you'd pay half the holidays, right? If it was,
On 30 hours, we 75%, right?
But you wouldn't pay them 75% in 2 weeks, they've only been here a month.
Well,
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that's
If
the
they
other
were
thing.
here 10 years, I mean,
the two employees that we're referring to, the two part-timers, I use the word part-timers. The two officers, they've been here for 5 of the 10 holidays. They've been employed for 5 of the 10 holidays. Well, including Christmas.
By the end of, the end of the year, yeah. I got
Including
you.
Christmas.
I got you. All right. Okay, well, hopefully you'll ask our opinion tomorrow night. We'll see. I'll put it in this report. It'll come up. Okay, anything else that we need to talk about?
No, just having a Christmas celebration Saturday.
You have to announce that on the camera tomorrow night. In the
I don't
freezing,
think we need extra police coverage or anything.
freezing rain Saturday morning.
Is it?
Yeah.
Hey, through the
That's what
snow
Christmas
to
is about.
grandmother's house we go, we're having a sleigh ride, they like it.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll adjourn 4 minutes before Tom's battery runs down.
Wow, perfect.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.